Over the past 10 days, Turkey has confronted an unprecedented wildfire crisis, driven by record-breaking temperatures surpassing 50 degrees Celsius, equivalent to 122 degrees Fahrenheit, dangerously low humidity, and fierce winds. The blazes have claimed the lives of at least 17 individuals, including firefighters, volunteers, and civilians, while displacing tens of thousands. Izmir province has borne the brunt of the disaster, with nearly 10,000 hectares, approximately 25,000 acres, of land consumed by fire. Entire neighborhoods have been evacuated, villages razed, and emergency responders stretched to their limits in a relentless effort to contain one of the most severe wildfire emergencies in the nation's history.
Ateşe karşı suyu hazır halde tutuyor. Ve içeride yine bir önce ekip ateşi karşılıyor sıkarak. Gördünüz. İnşallah Karahıdır köyünde olduğu gibi bu da köye girmeden önlenmiş olacak.
The western province of Izmir experienced multiple wildfire outbreaks between late June and the end of July. The districts of Seferihisar and Menderes witnessed extensive destruction, with olive groves, agricultural facilities, and residential areas severely damaged. At the peak of the fires, over 50,000 residents were temporarily evacuated to safety. Tragically, 2 fatalities were confirmed in Izmir: a senior citizen who could not be relocated in time, and a construction worker who lost his life while creating fire breaks. Emergency services responded swiftly with aerial firefighting assets, although Izmir Adnan Menderes Airport faced brief operational disruptions caused by thick smoke. Following Izmir, the province of Bursa suffered significant damage as fires rapidly spread through its forested and rural zones in the northwest. The flames encroached upon the outskirts of several populated neighborhoods, prompting the evacuation of over 3,500 residents. Approximately 3,000 hectares, about 7,400 acres, of land were destroyed.
Etrafımız sarıldı. Yanımızda tanker yok, bir şey yok. Sadece 2 araba kaldık.
During these firefighting operations, 5 personnel lost their lives. 1 firefighter succumbed to a fatal heart attack, while 4 others died in a vehicle accident on a mountainous road. Considerable damage was inflicted upon farmland, infrastructure, and forest reserves. In Eskişehir province, a sudden and severe shift in wind direction resulted in one of the deadliest moments of the crisis. 10 forestry workers and volunteers tragically perished while battling a rapidly advancing fire. This incident affected several square kilometers of dry vegetation and pine forests. Authorities have initiated investigations to review the timeline and management of the fire suppression efforts in this area. Nearby, in Karabük province's Çavuşlar district, wildfires forced approximately 2,000 residents to evacuate. Despite the absence of fatalities, dry conditions and strong winds allowed the fire to progress swiftly, damaging power lines and causing temporary outages in rural communities. Numerous small farm buildings and storage facilities were destroyed. Several additional smaller-scale fires were reported across the provinces of Bilecik, Hatay, Kahramanmaraş, and Sakarya. These incidents led to losses of agricultural land and wildlife habitats. Notably, Bilecik was officially declared a disaster zone. No fatalities were reported in these areas. However, evacuation procedures were promptly implemented, and residual hotspots continue to be monitored closely. The Turkish State Meteorological Service attributes the rapid spread and intensity of the wildfires to ongoing extreme weather conditions. Temperatures in Şırnak province reached a historic high of 50.5 degrees Celsius, the highest temperature ever recorded in Turkey. Several provinces experienced prolonged heat waves, with temperatures exceeding seasonal averages by 5 to 10 degrees Celsius. Relative humidity fell below 15% in many regions, while strong winds, especially in coastal and inland valleys, significantly increased the fire's speed and volatility. According to the Ministry of Agriculture and Forestry's initial assessments, over 85% of the wildfires were human-related, resulting from causes such as malfunctioning power lines, unauthorized land clearing, and negligence. Additionally, one confirmed case of intentional arson is currently under investigation in Hatay province. Experts emphasize that rapid urban expansion into forested zones has elevated the risk of wildfires, bringing residential and industrial infrastructure dangerously close to vulnerable areas. Forestry Minister Ibrahim Yumaklu has warned that active fires could persist for several more days or even weeks, contingent on evolving weather conditions. The European Union's Copernicus Emergency Management Service has issued risk advisories, highlighting the likelihood of continued fire-prone weather across western and central Turkey through early August.
Kim yaktıysa onun Allah belasını versin bak. Kaç kilometre öteye geldik, su, ayran getirdik, yanıyor. Kim yaktıysa o teröristlerin Allah belasını versin. Kim yaktıysa onun Allah belasını versin, yoldan daha yukarı çıkamıyoruz. Allah onların belasını versin, bu suları da onlara teslim.
International assistance has been mobilized to support Turkey's firefighting efforts with aerial resources from Spain, Croatia, and Azerbaijan, including amphibious aircraft, coordination teams, and ground support. Domestically, over 3,000 personnel from AFAD, the Turkish Armed Forces, and NGOs, such as AKU, remain actively deployed in affected areas. Evacuation shelters in schools, stadiums, and municipal buildings provide refuge to more than 12,000 displaced individuals receiving vital aid. The Turkish Red Crescent and other humanitarian groups coordinate logistics, medical care, and food distribution. Fire surveillance using drones and satellite monitoring has been expanded to detect and prevent flare-ups. Coordination among local governments, emergency responders, and volunteers has been crucial in preventing further loss of life. Rural residents have created manual fire breaks, used irrigation to slow flames, and relocated livestock. Agricultural cooperatives supplied fuel and water tanks, while volunteers, from students to retirees, assisted with supplies and cleanup. Turkey's firefighting and disaster response teams have been widely praised for their dedication. Their perseverance under hazardous conditions has helped stabilize the most impacted areas. As the crisis subsides, Turkey faces a long recovery requiring sustained coordination and resource management. Reforestation, infrastructure rebuilding, and long-term aid for displaced families and farmers will take years. Ecosystem regeneration in burned forests is expected to span decades, depending on rainfall and soil restoration. We extend our deepest condolences to the families of those who have tragically lost their lives. Firefighters, volunteers, and civilians alike, whose courage and dedication in the face of extreme peril exemplify the highest standards of service and sacrifice. May their souls rest in peace, and may their bravery and commitment be honored with the utmost respect. We also express our hope that affected communities and individuals will recover swiftly and with resilience, supported by ongoing efforts to rebuild, restore, and strengthen their homes and livelihoods. Thank you for watching and supporting us. Stay safe and stay aware.